Hello, and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton King for a special edition where we're not there. Are we there? We're sort of there. Hello.
Hello.
And we're reviewing a thing, aren't we?
Yeah, we're reviewing something over the internet.
So, over the internet. This is an over the internet review using technology. It's an amazing thing. So, Sam, what do you think of Stranded by Rainbow?
All right. Not as good as their previous album, but slightly better than their next album.
So, Sam, what do you think of Stranded by Gojira?
Excellent drumming.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, Sam, what do you think of Stranded featuring Brood's Reggie Watts and Saro official video? Oh no, sorry.
It's all right. I think you're getting at something here, Kev. Is it that there are lots of albums called Stranded?
Yeah, well, the Rainbow one is a song, actually, so I'm cheating slightly, but never mind. So, yeah, Roxy Music. We're doing Roxy Music. This is our third Roxy Music. Are you still there?
I am still here, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I'm keeping as quiet as a mouse.
Right, yeah. It's Skype doing the thingy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so, I mean, big things to live up to after last week's Slice of Awesome.
Yep.
But this is our third week of doing the same band.
Yeah.
Eno is gone, both literally and stylistically.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly.
Yep.
It's a bit like they've got everyone's attention with something interesting, but now they want to sort of break through to the next level, so they need to be a bit less out there to do that, maybe.
Yeah.
Some people think this is the best one, okay, but for me it's a step down, to be honest. Both in terms of the songwriting and the whole package, I think it's a step down.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether it's fatigue because
that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
3 albums, or whether it is actually a step back. I have to admit, I didn't get the immediate wow, this is pretty good. Although I did like it.
Yeah.
I actually feel like Roxy Music is sort of like it's a pretty cool band, isn't it? Roxy Music, and it's a pretty cool band that I actually like. Normally, that's like a bad thing. If I say cool, I don't know.
They're down with the kids, aren't they?
Yeah, that's not for me. They're too, they're obviously shallow because they're cool. But this is not, and this is still good. And actually, given that Brian Eno's gone, the production's still pretty good.
Yes. I think actually the production is when it's not being weird, crystal clear for the age. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Much more so than the first two. They've obviously spent a bit more money on it.
Yeah. Don't know what else to say, really.
It is strange how I feel I'm struggling with it. I think it sort of moves between amazing and a bit boring, but I'm not trusting my judgment. It's like you said, it's the third album we're doing, and we're doing an album once a week, hearing it for the first time.
Yeah,
and that's just the nature of when we do these 3 album things. That often the third album is kind of it's all right, yeah, it's the same again, So I don't trust myself completely, but it does feel a bit meh after last week, which was so amazing.
Yeah, that was really good about, and a couple of times I listened to it in a playlist where this album ran into the last week's album.
Right, yeah.
Actually, it's not such a jarring thing. Some albums are completely different where you think, well, okay, that's completely different. But because it's quite... The style thing for Roxy Music isn't something that's so concrete. So obviously certain bands you can listen to straight away, that's one of their bands, like say Gentle Giant or something like that. Straight away you can identify it as Gentle Giant. But with Roxy Music, if it wasn't for the vocals, I'm not sure I could identify it as Roxy Music. So as you're moving through the songs on the various albums, it can sound a little bit like one big long album. But as I say, I did get into sort of like last week's album. What was it called?
For Your Pleasure.
Yeah, we went into For Your Pleasure, and a few songs in, I'm like, nah, this is really good. This is and I end up listening to that whole one as well.
Right. Yeah.
So I've sort of gone through Stranded. I'm listening to it because I have to listen to it for the review, and then I've gone on and listened to the other album because I want to listen to it.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I want to go back and listen to. I haven't listened to it for a whole week, but I'll definitely be listening to it next week.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to listen to the new one.
Yeah.
What do you think about the vocals? Do you think there's any change in the vocals?
Not really. I'm just looking at the tracks now, seeing if there's anything that stands out. And no, there is no. All the same, exactly the same.
I still think with the sort of the bigger more epic things, there's a magic happens with his voice.
Yeah.
And with the lighter, just the rock songs.
Yeah.
It's more just a fun voice.
Yeah.
A silly voice. But less so than the last album. There's a couple of things on the last album which are absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it does happen on this one, but the vocals aren't quite. It's like he's already starting to slip into self-parody.
Right. Well, I should imagine that's quite easy over this. I mean, that's what he does, isn't it? That's his voice. That's his thing.
Yeah.
So 3 albums of that is quite a lot, and especially if they're touring this, I should imagine he's well into a groove now. He's not like Bowie who changes his character and his his singing style and everything along with it.
Yeah.
That's what he's got. It's a bit like Jeremy Clarkson, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just Jeremy Clarkson being Jeremy Clarkson. Brian Ferry is Brian Ferry.
Yeah, Clarkson being a parody of Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, and I suppose you can't really expect him to do anything else because that's what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched Live Aid earlier on today.
Mm-hmm.
Not the whole thing. But I did watch Brian Ferry's performance with Dave Gilmour sort of tacked on his band at the last minute because he had no band. Dave Gilmour didn't have a band, remember?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, his bass player friend had skulked off, so there was no Pink Floyd at Live Aid. But it is one of those awesome Live Aid moments where it's actually good.
Is it really?
There's a couple of those. Yeah.
I don't remember that, actually.
I think it was quite spontaneous. Well, it's not like they didn't have a rehearsal, but it was very, very... Gilmour was just sort of tacked onto his band, and it sounded great, and that's why. He went on to do a song for the movie Legend, along with Tangerine Dream and John Anderson, and that's another story. That other song, but this stuff is great. It's "Slave to Love," and he does "Jealous Guy," the Lennon song. Even when he's doing the whistling bit, he still sounds like Brian Ferry. It's really strange. I can't explain it. His voice is still there, even when he's whistling.
Oh.
But it is striking how you jump like more than 10 years forward, and he's definitely doing an impression of himself by that point. Definitely.
Yeah. Which
is inevitable.
Yeah. So do you think the slide? You obviously think there's a bit of a slide going on here. It's not as good. Is that down to Brian Eno not being there? Why did Brian Eno leave? Did you just get bored?
I think originally because he felt Brian Ferry was calling the shots too much, and it was becoming his band.
Right.
But Brian Ferry wrote all the songs, and that's the problem. He wrote the songs. Brian Eno made the funny noises. He produced it, and we said, didn't we? Where you draw the line? Is it just the songs? It isn't just the songs. So, and actually, that's a bit like Pink Floyd. Roger writes the songs.
Yeah.
But when Roger just writes the songs on his own, it's not Pink Floyd, is it?
No. It's not. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eddie Jobson.
Who's Eddie Jobson?
Eddie Jobson. He's the keyboard player and violin player in UK. That was his band. He was also with Zappa. He was also in Jethro Tull briefly. what's so interesting is that guy is a proper virtuoso.
Yeah.
That's so interesting to replace someone who calls himself a non-musician, an actual person who joined the band didn't play, with an actual proper virtuoso. And you have to remember that if I use that word, I'm not exaggerating a pop star about their amazing ability of playing.
Yeah.
It really is frightening,
Yeah.
He extended the band right up until UK started. What's interesting though, they didn't ask him back when the Roxy Music reconvened whilst UK were active. They didn't ask him back.
Oh,
But he must be quite intimidating, I think,
Yeah.
because the rest of them aren't like that at all. So it is odd that he stayed for so long. But he was very young.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's not like you've gone from weird production sounds on the VCS to Eddie Jobson playing or anything like that. There's nothing like that on there at all. So Eddie Jobson is trying to do the job of Brian Eno by the sounds of things, but they're very different people, obviously.
It's interesting. Yeah, you're right. It's interesting how they went for a virtuoso. It was almost like saying, "Oh, what's been holding us back is the piano and keyboards.
Yeah,
Let's get super duper guy in."
Remember Brian Ferry was playing the keyboards himself, so maybe that was so he didn't have to, so he could prance around and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's some really cool stuff on there. There's some really cool guitar effects. I think Amazona is the first point on the album where that stuff starts happening. I think the best song on there is Song for Europe. Great big epic thing again.
Yeah.
It's another one of them. And the sort of deadpan vocals with the bigness. That's that and the crazy stuff is the best stuff.
I quite like Psalm. I think that was quite good.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was a bit hot and cold on that.
Yeah, I think it's a slow burner. So sort of, it's a little bit to start with. Oh god, this is but by the end, I think it's sort of you think, oh, actually, this is quite good. I like this, and I think his vocals are quite good in it as well. He sort of does his some harmonies or something like that. Whatever singers do, falsetto harmonies.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's good about doing this is only audio. We don't have to hold up the album cover.
Yeah,
it's actually quite embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to leave it lying around, even at home.
Why do they?
I'm a bit embarrassed.
Such crap album covers.
I know it's pictures of women. I mean, this is the worst one so far. It's not because it's sexy, because it isn't. It's actually quite horrible. But it's just sort of scantily clad women, and it's really naff and tasteless. And what has that got to do with Roxy Music?
Yeah, well, it's sort of it is very 80s-ish, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's like we said, they're really influential.
Yeah.
It's just influential on stuff we hate.
Yeah. Street Life obviously was the precursor to Park Life.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Yeah. It was. I find that one very meh. I find the first couple of tracks very meh.
Actually, I quite like it.
Good as me.
On the second listen, I thought, actually, this is quite fun, I mean, the way I sort of approached it a little bit was sort of say, well, actually, I could play this in the car if Sarah was in the car, and she wouldn't press stop, probably.
But actually, from a marketing perspective, that's kind of what it's trying to do, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's the Mike Rutherford effect when he says, when they did "Follow You, Follow Me," which was the big single they did after Steve Hackett left.
Yeah.
But he explained the marketing genius behind it. He said, well, the girlfriends don't want to go and see that. They see this band as sort of heavyweight and serious. No, this is that band with that song you heard on the telly. Let's go and see them. Very clever. It's clever marketing. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. It actually has crazy stuff on there, but you would get away with it, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
4
eggs.
Yeah, I agree. 4 eggs. I mean, you consider actually what have we had? Is it?
I did 4-5-4.
Did you 4-5-4?
Yeah, maybe you did 3. No, I think we've agreed actually on all 3.
We have agreed. And actually, in my head, I feel like it's a 5-egg average this run, although we've done 4-5-4.
Yes, they are a 5-egg band.
Yeah,
Early
definitely.
on, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been really pleased we've done these.
Yeah, great band.
Yeah, and it came from a Patreon suggestion as well. Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it
It
came
did,
from a
yeah,
Patreon.
so-
You know, they paid for one request, and we gave them 3 because it was a good one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good. Right, okay, this is a scenario. The reason we're doing this is because my kitchen is being decorated. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves on videos, but we ran out.
Because I was ill, actually, wasn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah.
we caught up again.
Yeah, we had to move out of the house while while building was occurring last week, so we couldn't record anything.
Yeah.
And this week we're going away on holiday, and won't be back till well, we won't be here this weekend, Easter weekend, but we'll be here the weekend after, and hopefully we'll have a kitchen then. So
Right.
we should be
So we're
able
looking
to
at a week
record.
out. aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're gonna miss a week. We're not gonna record anything this
really.
week.
That's okay when we finish Roxy, so you know.
Yeah, it's a shame because we're on a good little run.
Yes.
Yeah,
But, well, okay, next week we'll put out to our Patreon subscribers, we will put out our review of Nursery Crime.
oh yeah, and we haven't done we've done a commentary, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. That's still to come as well.
Yeah, we've done
Yeah.
a commentary for a live performance. Very exciting.
Yeah. So you've got that to look forward to as well if you're on the Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/WentonKing.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See you next week. Next time.
Yeah, see you next time in 2 weeks for our next review.
Next time.
And we will see you then. Goodbye.